Cali, Panchanguero.
Pachanguero.
What is it?
You said panchanguero.
That's what I always say. That's what I say. What is it?
Pachanguero.
That's what I said. Panchanguero.
No, you're saying pan.
Panchanguero.
Changuero. Remove the N.
Pa-
Pachanguero.
Pachangero. Panchanguero.
Cali es panchanguero.
So here's a recap. We have been living in Colombia all of 2022. We actually moved here in December of 2021.
For 9, 2021.
December 9, 2021. And we've been kind of like bouncing around each city. So we spent 3 months in Bogota, 1 month in Santa Marta, 1 month in Bucaramanga. And then by May, we spent a month in Cali. We're currently in Bogota. Yeah. June was weird because we actually spent most of it apart because I had to go back to the US, apply for my visa there, which I finally got by mid-July, and now we are back in Bogota. But this video is about Cali.
Cali.
Panchanguero.
So today we're doing a city review on Cali, Colombia. So first things first, climate.
Climate. By the way, I have a hack for figuring out like what the climate is like in any given city across the world, and it is Wikipedia and the Köppen climate graph, because it shows you the like average high and low and just like average for every single month throughout the year. Something interesting about Colombia is that the weather basically stays the same in every given region. It really depends on where you are in elevation. So the higher you go up in elevation, the colder it is all year round. The lower you are in elevation, it's just freaking hot. And Cali is about 3,000 feet elevation. And so like its average high was like 86 degrees, 89 or something like that.
Fahrenheit, 30
Fahrenheit.
degrees Celsius.
And then its low was about 75 degrees, maybe 65. We've got it written down. I forget, 63. So it actually got pretty cool at night, which was nice.
17 degrees Celsius.
But man, we're daytime people, not night people. So I see how like in Cali at night, it's nice to go out because like it actually is cool and refreshing. But we're daytime people. And so we were working and doing our work in the apartment we were in, and it just got hot, man.
It was hot.
We were on the 8th floor, the top of the building, the very top, and we were facing west. So all the sun all day long was just hitting our apartment building and heating it up. It was like 80 degrees, or I guess close to 30 degrees Celsius. And I mean, we were just sitting around. I was sitting around topless.
Which we don't mind the temperature. We love the temperature.
Yes, but the thing is, like, in houses in Colombia don't have like insulation or like universal air conditioning. So like parts of the house got super hot, whereas the like individual like air conditioner unit
in the room,
it's where we would go to retreat to cool off and just stand there for like 5 minutes and be like, oh my gosh, like I actually stopped sweating for a moment. Overall feel and uniqueness of Cali. The first thing is that it is super diverse. I mean, there is a lot of African blood there, and so I saw a different like mixture of colored people, which was nice because it reminded me of home in Dallas, Texas. It's actually a very diverse city, and you see all different types of colored people when you go out and about grocery shopping, to the mall, whatever. But in contrast to where we were the month before, Bucaramanga, I mean, you see just brown Colombian people, and it was just nice to see, oh, there's really dark black people and really white Colombians that were almost whiter than me.
Yes.
And so I felt actually at home a little bit in Cali because of that.
And not just the type of color, like the type of hair, the texture of hair. Like I felt like I was at home. I saw so many curly girls, girls with kinky hair. It was, I felt represented.
Yeah.
There were so many stores that would cater to my hair needs, and I really, really, really liked that.
Yeah. And I don't know if any of my viewers feel this way when you go places that like you see the same type of person and colored person. It feels really weird. Like it just feels weird. But that's because I've grown up around so much diversity. So I actually felt at home in Cali because of that. The next thing that's unique.
Well, I actually wanted to add, it feels a lot more diverse than Bogota. Or
It does.
felt to me, I've never been to Cali. I lived in Colombia 24 years, and this was my first time. And I was surprised by all of the diversity. I myself felt ashamed that I didn't know that we had so many colors in our representing our people. And that was very, very pleasant to see and to experience.
The second thing that we thought was very unique about Cali is that they have this mountain range where the tops of the mountains are like really jaggedy and like cliff-like. And it's almost eerie when you look at them, but it's also kind of like majestic because they're so tall. Like they scour like 7,000 feet more above the plane that Cali is in. And so that was really cool to look at every day.
Yeah, and really interesting. And looking at them, they look so different from the mountains that you would see in Bogota or the mountains you would see in Medellin. And that was also very unique and new to me as Colombian.
And it was nice to wake up in the morning because we had a balcony that faced west at the mountains, and we were able to see that mountain range all day long when it wasn't raining and cloudy.
Yeah. But even when the clouds would come in, it looked majestic.
You kept getting them confused for actual clouds.
Yes.
And when the sun was like on the other side, it looked like they were clouds. And I was like, no, those are the mountains.
So I would confess, for like the first week, I always thought, oh, it's so cloudy. There were mountains.
The cloud looked exactly the same every single day.
They're so interesting. Boo.
The third thing that I noticed, okay, yes, the women there are very flashy and like they like to show their bodies, and so just going out and about. I swear, like the Cali thing for a woman to wear is like a tube top or something that looks mostly like a bra, and then they wear blue jeans with like maybe some high heels or something or tennis shoes. And I was like, that's the Cali look. But it is hot, so I understand that point why they're wearing that. So it kind of keeps you cooler during the daytime, but it was also a little much. I guess it's a good place to go get some
Eye candy.
some eye candy. Yeah.
Go get your eye candy in Cali. I mean, I didn't mind. I loved it. There were so many beautiful women that, yeah, I mean, I doubted myself.
I got slapped a couple times. Let me show you these marks on my back.
That's not true.
It wasn't by you, it was by other women.
I'm gonna slap you.
Okay, let's get into some activities that we did while we were in Cali, Colombia. And the first thing that...
Well, disclaimer.
Disclaimer, yeah.
While we were in Cali, Colombia, we were dealing with a lot of paperwork, visa issues, appointments here and there, south of the city, north of the city.
We actually got to see a lot of the city because we had to go drive to all these places and notaries and stuff and migration office.
It was a lot, and so that consumed a lot of our time and our mental energy.
And so by nightfall, we were like, should we go salsa dancing? So I know that's the thing you're supposed to do in Cali, but we were just so tired. And I've gone salsa dancing before. I know it's not Cali salsa dancing, but I was like, man, I'm so tired. I don't even care. Like, I just want to watch a movie and like eat some food. That's all I want to do.
So we know there is a lot more things to do in Cali, but here are the things we tried to enjoy, and this is what we experienced.
First thing was we went to the San Antonio area. They have a really nice park. They have several different restaurants in that area. It's actually quite safe to walk around at night. And
it reminds me a lot of La Candelaria if you've been to Bogota. It's very, very similar. It does have a park, and then you climb the hill up to the top of the church, and there are more vendors.
Mm-hmm. And what's nice is like the hill, because it is a hill, you kind of get this really nice city view that in a way reminded me of Bogota. It wasn't as high as like the mountains, but it was a really nice, and it's warmer. It's not like crazy cold. I mean, in fact, I'm like looking out the window right now. It's raining in Bogota. Like, yay.
But going to that park was one of my favorite activities because of the one activity that they have there. They have like a concrete hill that comes from the church.
A driveway.
Yeah, it's a driveway.
It's a driveway for the cars.
And then you just go down on like a cart.
Yeah, it's a cart that carries the beer. So these little plastic carts. So you just get on it and you slide down, and you pay like two mil to go do it.
2,000 pesos.
We decided to do it, and I think it inspired a bunch of like 20-something-year-old rowdy boys who started doing it as well. But like, I think they got confident after they saw me like go down, and then I just completely ate it. And Woody's mom actually got that
On camera.
on camera.
But I loved that because it was thrilling, it was exciting, and I don't know, it was the thing to do in San Antonio. It is mostly for kids, but if you go, just get over the fact that you are a grown up adult and just go do it.
With a heart of a child, just go do it. All right, so the next thing that you can do is, like any larger city, and Cali is like the third largest city in Colombia, is go shopping. We decided to live near Plaza Jardín.
Jardín Plaza.
Or Jardín Plaza, because we heard that it was a little bit safer, quieter area if you were to go more west. And we just needed a break from all the noise we had in the past couple of months. So it was a lot quieter. That was nice.
Yes.
But it was a little bit more out of the way. So we ended up going to that plaza a lot for like our groceries and just walking around. And I actually liked the mall because it was kind of like outside. And it was just nice. And then south of it is the Ciudad Jardín, which they have a bunch more like really nice restaurants and shops that are more of luxury. But yeah, the restaurants there were good.
It was good.
They actually had a pho place, which was really strange because the pho broth was good, but they cooked the meat separately, then put it in the pho. And I thought
it was
that
different.
So weird.
Yeah.
I was like, what are y'all doing, man? But other than that, it was good. What else did we shop for?
Well, we had a quinceañera, so we had to shop for dresses and shirt and shoes. So
it was very hard to find shoes for me. I had to get a new pair of like nice shoes, and like they don't have my size, and so like the shoes are a little tight. I kept them. I had to like shop hard for them. That was difficult. The last thing that we really did, and to me, which was a highlight of the trip, is that we hiked Pico Loro. We made a separate video on that, but man, this hike was intense. It was a 4,200 feet elevation gain, which is like 1.2 meters, I believe.
1.2 meters?
Meters, right?
I am over 1.5 meter.
Isn't that millimeters? Dude, I don't know this system. I'm gonna stick the feet, what makes sense in my head. Sorry that I'm American. If you don't like the way I think.
So you're dumb? I'm kidding.
No, but dude, it was intense. I mean, it took us 6 hours of moving to go up and down this thing. It was beautiful. I got a massive headache on the way down. I think elevation really impacts me.
For the first time, I was first. And I wasn't running. He was behind me, way back there.
There was a moment where like we were like hiking up this thing, and like I could just feel the burn like in my legs, and it was intense.
It was tough. It was a tough experience, but I would do it again in a heartbeat. We are gonna go back so we can hike Pico Pance.
I want to hike Pico Pance. You're not supposed to. So if you are watching this and you know any information about anybody or anyone who can take us up to the top of Pico Pance and actually camp at the top, so that I can get some nice like sunset views and some nice early morning views and capture that on camera, you need to hit us up so hard in the comment section. Ask for our contact information, because I'm honest, like that Pico Pance, by the way, is like almost twice the elevation
of
as
Pico
Loro. So yeah, we really want to go back to Cali for that. We might have to wait till next year because I know that the sunnier season is either December or January or August, July, August. So we may need to wait a couple months to actually do that to get some real views. Because we got to the top of Pico Loro
And
clouds.
there was nothing. It was a little bit scary because there were some edgy rocks and you wouldn't see where you would fall. I fell and I slipped. Oh, my
Oh
God.
yeah, I didn't visit there to see that, but I just saw Whitney like giggling. I fell.
But I thought I was gonna die because I slipped and I couldn't see where I was going to fall, but I landed on something.
And our guide was laughing at her, so we were good.
Oh my God. It was crazy.
Okay, nightlife. We don't really go intentionally to
Yeah, why are we
experience
talking
nightlife.
about this?
But I think people want to know about nightlife. Cali has a great nightlife, and I could tell based off because we stayed past sunset and we walked around and we went to some restaurants, and there were some places that looked like they were having a good time. But there was this,
El Boulevard del Rio, there were tons of people. There was live music, people drinking, eating.
right
That
before
looked really
sunset,
fun. Yes.
and so it looked like a lot of fun, but it turns into a huge party. Like it seems like almost every day, and definitely on the weekends, and obviously during like special occasions and holidays. But they have a massive party life. Like I would say, if we were bigger into partying, we'd probably like Cali more. But
Yeah.
since we're just not big on partying, it's just like all right, whatever. And since it gets so cool again, like at night, like it makes partying easier, especially like in the street or something, because it's so fresh outside. You can actually dance and move around and not mind sweating because you're gonna cool off as soon as you stop moving.
Cost of living in Cali, Colombia. For housing, we actually stayed in two different Airbnbs. The first one was in the very south of the city in an area called Ciudad Melendez, next to Ciudad Jardín. And it was a regular 2-bedroom apartment with 2 bathrooms, a decent sized kitchen, balcony. It was just a regular apartment. And then for the second location,
It was towards the north. It was a little bit north of I forget the name of the area, but San Antonio. It was close to San Antonio.
it was really close to Chipichape Mall.
That's what it was, this was a really cool Airbnb. We actually needed a better space for Whitney's family coming into town. So her 2 brothers and mom were coming into town for the quinceañera. So we only stayed there for like maybe a week.
A week.
But the first one a full month, and then the next one a full week. So we were actually in Cali for about
5 weeks.
5 weeks. Yeah. But that one was super cool, and I actually really liked that Airbnb. That one cost $44
Dollars
a night, which is a lot higher than what we typically aim for. We usually aim for about $20
But
a
it
night.
was for 5 people.
Yes. That was for 5 people, whereas the other one, we were just looking for one for 2 people, and we ended up with the 2-bedroom in the southern part of the city. That we paid like I think $550, maybe $500 for that apartment. So I thought that was a really good deal for what it was, and it was just kind of like the normal type of Colombian house that you would typically get. But in terms of like cost of living, I would say that the cost of living in Colombia, like you could find if you're not doing what we're doing, living in different Airbnbs month over month, month after month, that is quite pricey. But you can find a place to live for anywhere from $300 to $600. And then your grocery bills, if you eat like we eat, we usually eat a lot of fresh produce almost every single meal. We do spend about $400, $500 a month on groceries. And then we like to eat out a lot, and we have the money to do so. So, I could realistically see somebody living in almost any given city inside or town inside Colombia, if they're an expat, some sort of nomad from some other place, for easily $1,000.
A month, yeah.
Yeah, a month. But if you want to have some fun, I mean, think $1,500 or maybe $2,000 a month, because you're actually wanting to pay for tours and you're wanting to pay to activities and
eating out gets expensive.
eating out always gets expensive. But like, I can't imagine a life not trying to do stuff. So we're more in the $1,500 to $2,000 range for what feels comfortable to us.
The question is, did it feel more expensive than Bucaramanga?
It didn't, but it felt the same. It felt honestly the same in terms of price. Didn't
I
feel it.
disagree. I feel like eating out was more expensive. Prices of restaurants were more expensive. Same for Airbnbs. And they were not.
I think we ate out more because the family came in town and because we were getting tired because of doing all the visa paperwork and we're like, I don't want to cook right now. Let's just go get food.
No, but prices were higher at restaurants for like similar restaurants in Cali.
But the dollar got stronger in the process, so it just kind of like we make dollars. It got weird. I don't know. But with confidence, I could say that you could easily live in Colombia $4,000 a month.
Moderately.
Living a moderate, maybe semi-frugal life. But if you want a more exciting life, think 1,500 or 2,000 at least. Number 6 is restaurants. There are several restaurants that have different flavors. I mean, every city has had a different set of restaurants. But what I liked about Cali, there was this, it's not even a restaurant, it was street food.
It's a restaurant.
I mean, it was just them setting up and cooking, making sancocho de pescado.
It was a family that set up their kitchen and their tables in the middle of the street, and it was delicious.
It was good, man. Fried fish or grilled fish and
Sancocho de pescado.
It was so good.
Their ají was pretty good too.
Their ají was good. I feel like there was more flavor in the food there, and I think that that's because of like the diversity.
Yes.
Of the city.
We also found Jonny's favorite food.
We found a ramen place.
Yes.
Ramen.
He loves ramen. And this place was pretty good.
Yeah, they actually had a plaque on the wall that says like International Ramen School. And I was like, okay, that's why this place, because as soon as I had the ramen, I was like, this tastes like ramen. And now I'm going to bash a restaurant we went to. It's called Sushi Green, and they serve ramen. And it was the worst thing ever. It was like Colombian soup where they put a package of the like ramen noodles into it. It was horrible. It was the worst thing I've ever had.
Safety in Cali. So me as a Colombian, I was super skeptical to go to Cali and stay for a month because of all the things you heard on the news. You hear that it is a dangerous city, that criminal activity is super high, that it is not a safe city. But I was pleasantly surprised.
The area we stayed in felt safe. I even went on a couple walks outside by myself because there were actually tons of different parks, and that was nice and that was refreshing because we've been staying in some pretty like highly dense areas, and this area was like scarce enough.
Very residential.
Yeah, residential. There were people all times of day.
Parks.
Walking dogs. So that felt really safe in that particular area. But as we drove through the city, because we had to go drive to different places, there were parts that I was like, man, this place looks super sketch.
It was scary.
There are some places that are super sketch. Those places didn't feel so safe. We actually had to go to the migration office to pick up this piece of paper, which I thought was the dumbest process in the whole visa process. But when we got to the visa location or the migration location, there were like a swarm of people like asking all these crazy questions, and it just felt weird. And I felt weird because I was like, I'm the gringo walking in, and I was like, I have an appointment, and they like unlocked the door and let me in this crowd of people. But apparently what it was I felt bad. It was a bunch of Venezuelans who were asking all these questions.
They were asking questions about their situation and stuff.
Yeah, so that made it feel a little scary just because.
No, there were areas that were sketchy, but there were also areas where we felt really comfortable walking. San Antonio, Ciudad Jardín. There were other areas where we had to go get pictures for the immigration papers, and we walked to go get dessert, and it was all good. Yeah. We'll be coming back to Cali to hike Pico, take a salsa class, maybe go out at night. We'll see how we feel about it. But we really like Cali. It was fun to see another friend that we met in the United States. And we got to see her in Cali, Colombia with her boyfriend and the way she lives life. So that was
nice. It's always nice to see friends or family when you're out and about going somewhere.
But we will be back in Cali for sure.
Let us know what you guys think. Go ahead and leave a comment below. And until next time, peace out, guys. In Colombia, you can go to church, do the whole Catholic thing, and then like right when you're done, You know, you can just go across to get yourself a bottle of liquor at the store right across the street. Feel the spirit, if you know what I mean.